Okay, here we go. The trash icon winked. Gone. Just like that. Years of late nights, caffeine headaches, and the quiet hum of my laptop vanished with a single click. What would you do if you watched your future crumble before your eyes? The sunset was a bruised purple and orange, painting long shadows across my bedroom floor. It felt mocking, beautiful, but cold. Just like him. My brother, Liam. He always got the golden light, the applause, the easy wins. Me? I was the shadow lurking behind, the one who fixed the Wi-Fi and made sure everyone had enough to eat. I remember when I first had the idea for Connectus, my app. It was during one of those endless family dinners where everyone talked over each other, shouting opinions about politics and complaining about traffic. I felt invisible, like a ghost at my own table. That's when it hit me. A social app designed for meaningful connection, not just endless scrolling. A place where people could share real thoughts, find local events based on shared interests, and maybe, just maybe, find their tribe. I poured everything into it. Every free moment was spent coding, designing, testing. Liam would scoff from the doorway. Still wasting your time on that thing? His words were like little darts, pricking my confidence. He was too busy with his photography, his art, to understand the grind, the passion. The job application to Innovate Tech was a lifeline. Junior developer right up my alley. It was perfect. I spent weeks crafting the perfect resume, tailoring my cover letter, showcasing Connectus in my portfolio. I even practiced my interview answers in the mirror, hoping I wouldn't freeze up under pressure. Finding the confirmation email in the trash was a punch to the gut. Then I saw his name, Liam Miller, on the deleted email notification. My blood ran cold. He knew. He knew how much that job meant. Thanksgiving. Ugh. The air in my parents' house was thick with the smell of roasting turkey, cranberry sauce, and simmering resentment. The usual suspects were all there. Mom, Dad, Grandma, Liam, and his obnoxiously cheerful girlfriend, Chloe. Liam was holding court in the living room, regaling everyone with his latest business venture. I tried to tune him out, but his voice was like a persistent mosquito buzzing in my ear. "So, I had this idea," he said, beaming. "A social app, something revolutionary. It's called Connectus." My jaw dropped. The words hung in the air like a bad joke. Connectus. He couldn't be serious. Chloe squealed. "Oh, Liam, that's brilliant. You're such a visionary." My grandmother patted his hand. "Always thinking, that boy, just like his father." My parents looked proud, nodding along, completely oblivious. I looked at my plate, the mashed potatoes suddenly feeling like lead. How could he? How could he steal my idea, my hard work, and present it as his own? And to our entire family. Dad chimed in. "So, what's it do? This Connectus?" Liam launched into his pitch, using my carefully crafted explanations, my design ideas, even some of my coding solutions. He was a natural, smooth and confident, taking all the credit. My hands clenched into fists under the table. I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks. I wanted to scream, to expose him, to watch his perfect world crumble, but something held me back. Fear? Disappointment? Or maybe just years of being told to be quiet, to be agreeable, to not make a scene. He casually mentioned he was seeking seed funding, that he'd already secured a verbal commitment for $90,000. $90,000. My stomach churned. $90,000 for my idea. $90,000? My aunt gasped. "Liam, that's incredible." My mom beamed. "We always knew you were destined for great things, honey." I excused myself, mumbling something about needing air. I walked out onto the back porch, the cool night air doing little to calm my boiling anger. A crimson sunset bled across the sky, reflecting in the dew-covered grass. It was like a scene from a movie, the heartbroken heroine standing alone against the fading light. What would you do? Would you let him get away with it? Would you swallow your pride and let him bask in the glory while you remained invisible? I pulled out my phone. I scrolled through my photos, my files, my code. I had proof. Pages and pages of it. Time-stamped, documented, undeniable. The build reports, the design mock-ups, the early prototypes. My entire life condensed into digital files. An idea started to form, a plan to expose him, not with shouting and accusations, but with irrefutable evidence. A plan that would make him wish he'd never heard of Connectus. Back inside, the conversation was still focused on Liam's brilliant app. I took a deep breath and walked into the living room, trying to appear calm. "Hey, everyone," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "I have something to show you." Liam looked at me, a flicker of unease in his eyes. He probably thought I was going to start a fight, a dramatic confrontation, but I had something much more effective in mind. "I've been working on a project myself," I continued, pulling up the Connectus landing page on my phone. "I'd love to get your feedback." Chloe yawned dramatically. "Oh, another one of your little projects? How quaint." I ignored her. "I thought it would be easier to show you on the TV." I connected my phone to the smart TV in the living room. My landing page flashed onto the screen, the Connectus logo bold and bright. "This is Connectus," I said, gesturing to the screen. "A social app designed to connect people through shared interests and local events." Liam started to sweat. I could see his carefully constructed facade beginning to crack. I clicked through the features showcasing the interactive map, the personalized event recommendations, the community forums. Everything was there, laid out in detail, months of hard work on display. "I started working on this about a year ago," I said, scrolling through my photo library. "Here are some of the early design mock-ups." I showed them the sketches, the wireframes, the initial prototypes. Each image was time-stamped, clearly showing when I created it. "And here's some of the code," I said, displaying snippets of my code repository. "I've been documenting my progress along the way." Liam was silent now, his face pale. He knew he was caught. My mom leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "But Liam said he came up with this idea." I looked at her, my heart aching. "I know, Mom. He did." I clicked on a video recording I had made of myself explaining the app's functionality and date-stamped that video. The room was silent. You could hear a pin drop. All eyes were on the TV screen, then on Liam, then on me. My grandmother, who usually dozed through family gatherings, was wide awake, her eyes narrowed. "Liam," she said, her voice sharp, "explain yourself." He stammered, trying to come up with an excuse, a way out, but the evidence was overwhelming. He had no defense. I thought it was a good idea, and I wanted to be the one who came up with it. My dad sighed, shaking his head in disappointment. "Liam, that's not how things work. You can't take credit for someone else's work." Chloe shifted uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. The silence stretched on, thick and heavy. I felt a strange mix of emotions, anger, vindication, and a deep sense of sadness. But most of all, I felt seen. For once, my family was seeing me, not as the quiet girl in the background, but as a talented, capable, and creative individual. The rest of Thanksgiving was awkward, to say the least. Liam apologized, sort of, but the damage was done. The $90,000 vanished quicker than the pumpkin pie, too. What would you have done? Demanded a public apology? Cut him out of your life completely? I thought about revenge. I imagined ruining his photography career, exposing him to all his friends, making him feel as small and insignificant as he had made me feel. But then I looked at my mom, her face etched with disappointment, and I realized that revenge wouldn't make me feel any better. It would only perpetuate the cycle of negativity and resentment. So I decided to forgive him, not because he deserved it, but because I deserved to move on. I focused on Connectus. I used the exposure from Thanksgiving to my advantage, launching a crowdfunding campaign, reaching out to investors, and refining my app. Within 6 months, Connectus had over 10,000 users. Within a year, it was a thriving community, connecting people all over the world. I even got a job offer from Innovate Tech, the one Liam deleted my application for. I built a multi-million-dollar company, and now I spend my days helping other young female developers achieve their dreams. Liam? He's still doing photography. He even apologized genuinely last year. We're not best friends, but but we're civil. I think It wasn't easy. There were times when I wanted to give up, when I doubted myself, when I felt like I was fighting a losing battle. But I kept going, fueled by my passion, my determination, and my belief in my vision. And you can too. Don't let anyone steal your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. Believe in yourself, work hard, and never, ever give up. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. Write what you would choose. Like and subscribe for more stories. Learned a valuable lesson that day. What would you do in my place? Really think about it. Would you have taken the high road or would you have gone for the jugular? Sometimes I still wonder if I made the right choice. But then I see the messages from Connect Us users, the stories of people finding friendship, love, and community, and I know that I did. I was at a tech conference in San Francisco a few months ago, giving a keynote speech about female empowerment in the tech industry. It was surreal, standing on that stage, bathed in the spotlight, sharing my story with hundreds of people. Afterward, a young woman came up to me, her eyes shining with admiration. "Your story inspired me so much," she said. "I've always been afraid to pursue my dreams, but seeing what you've accomplished gives me hope." That moment, that connection, made all the struggle, all the pain, worthwhile. Remember Chloe, Liam's relentlessly cheerful girlfriend? Well, she actually reached out to me a few weeks after Thanksgiving. I was surprised, to say the least. I expected her to defend Liam, to tell me I was being unfair, to somehow justify his behavior. But she didn't. She apologized. She said she had always felt uncomfortable with Liam taking credit for my work, but she was too afraid to speak up. "He can be intimidating," she admitted. She even offered to help me with Connect Us, volunteering her marketing skills to promote the app. I was hesitant at first, but I decided to give her a chance. And you know what? She was actually really good. She came up with some brilliant marketing strategies, helped me connect with influencers, and even organized a launch party for the app. It was a total game changer. I still don't fully understand her motivations. Maybe she felt guilty. Maybe she genuinely wanted to help. Or maybe she just saw an opportunity to align herself with a rising star. Whatever the reason, I was grateful. And it taught me a valuable lesson about forgiveness and second chances. Grandma, the one who always seemed to be sleeping. Turns out she was paying attention all along. A few weeks after Thanksgiving, she called me. "Honey," she said, her voice surprisingly strong, "I want to invest in your app." I was stunned. Grandma, an investor? It turned out she had been saving money for years, squirreling away every spare penny. She believed in me, she said, and she wanted to support my dream. Her investment wasn't huge, but it was enough to give me a real boost, to hire a small team, and to take Connect Us to the... Her faith in me was the ultimate validation. It made me realize that sometimes the people who seem the least supportive are actually the ones who believe in you the most. What would you do if your grandma invested in your dream? Would you feel pressure? Love? Both? There was one moment, about 6 months after the Thanksgiving debacle, when I almost gave up. I was running out of money, my team was exhausted, and the app was riddled with bugs. I felt overwhelmed, defeated, like I was drowning in a sea of code and deadlines. I remember sitting in my apartment at 2 a.m, staring at my laptop screen, tears streaming down my face. I felt like a failure. I called my best friend, Sarah. She listened patiently as I ranted and cried, offering words of encouragement and support. "You're amazing," she said. "You're talented, you're driven, and you're going to make this happen. Just keep going." Her words gave me the strength to keep fighting. I took a deep breath, wiped away my tears, and got back to work. A few days later, we squashed the bugs, secured a new round of funding, and Connect Us started to gain real traction. That moment taught me the importance of having a support system, of surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. I got an email from Liam a few weeks ago. He's doing okay. He's actually found some success with his photography, shooting weddings and portraits. He even apologized again, this time more sincerely. He said he's proud of what I've accomplished, and he's glad that things worked out the way they did. I think I wrote a blog post about the whole experience, about the betrayal, the forgiveness, and the triumph. It went viral, sparking a global conversation about sibling rivalry, intellectual property, and the importance of standing up for yourself. I received thousands of messages from people all over the world, sharing their own stories of overcoming adversity and pursuing their dreams. It was overwhelming, humbling, and incredibly inspiring. I am planning but I want how am I going to manage it? What will I be? So I asked myself this. I thought long and hard about I considered a project focused on climate, perhaps a mentorship program for underprivileged young women. What if I focused on food sustainability and local communities? I thought about traveling to Italy and learning the traditional art of pasta making. What would you do? I am so unsure. All the things seem awesome. It's a good problem to have, I think. But I don't know where to start. I need to create a list, perhaps with some pros and cons. I like to read books to help me focus. It feels as if the possibilities are endless. Perhaps I should take some time off and let inspiration come to me. A quiet cabin would be perfect, somewhere near the mountains. I could hike and think. I could journal. And what if I just relaxed? That might be the best thing to do. I need to step away from the computer and re-engage with the world. A walk on the beach would be lovely. Or I could visit my grandmother. She always has great advice. Yeah, Grandma, that's exactly what I should do. Her wisdom is a constant North Star in my often chaotic life. I remember when I was little and I scraped my knee playing in her garden. Instead of fussing over me, she simply cleaned the wound, put on a bandage, and told me to go back out and play. The world is full of scrapes and bruises, she said, but you can't let them stop you. That lesson has stayed with me throughout my life. She's seen so much, lived through so much. World War II, the Civil Rights Movement, the rise of the Internet. She's a living history book, and she always has a fresh pot of chamomile tea brewing. I drove to her house. It's a small, cozy cottage nestled in the countryside, surrounded by rolling hills and blooming wildflowers. The air smells like lavender and freshly baked bread. Grandma was waiting for me on the porch, rocking gently in her favorite chair. "Hello, sweetheart," she said, her eyes twinkling. "I was expecting you." I hugged her tight, inhaling the familiar scent of her perfume. "Grandma," I said, "I need your advice." We sat on the porch, sipping tea and watching the butterflies flit around the garden. I told her about my burnout, my indecision, my overwhelming sense of responsibility. I told her about the foundation, the opportunities, the pressure to make the right choice. She listened patiently, without interrupting, her gaze fixed on the horizon. When I was finished, she took a sip of her tea and smiled. "Honey," she said, "you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You've accomplished so much already. It's okay to take a break." "But Grandma," I protested, "there's so much I want to do, so many people I want to help." She chuckled. "The world will still be here tomorrow," she said. "You can't save everyone, honey. You have to take care of yourself first." She told me a story about her own life, about a time when she was overwhelmed and exhausted, when she felt like she couldn't go on. She had taken a month off, she said, and gone to the beach. She spent her days swimming in the ocean, reading books, and simply being present. It was the best decision she ever made, she said. It allowed her to recharge, to reconnect with herself, and to come back stronger than ever. "Sometimes," she said, "the best thing you can do is nothing at all." I thought about her words, her wisdom, her gentle encouragement. She was right. I needed to slow down, to breathe, to reconnect with myself. I thanked her for her advice, hugged her goodbye, and drove back to the city, feeling lighter than I had in weeks. What do you do to recharge when you feel burnt out? A long walk? A good book? Or simply a chat with someone who loves you? I decided to take a week off. I booked a small cabin in the mountains, far away from the noise and distractions of the city. I packed my bags, grabbed my hiking boots, and hit the road. The drive was long and winding, but the scenery was breathtaking. As I climbed higher into the mountains, the air grew cooler and crisper, and the trees grew taller and denser. I felt my stress melting away with every mile. The cabin was rustic but charming, with a wood-burning fireplace, a cozy living room, and a stunning view of the valley below. There was no Wi-Fi, no cell service, just the peace and quiet of nature. I spent my days hiking through the woods, breathing in the fresh mountain air and listening to the sounds of the forest. I wrote in my journal, read books, and meditated. I cooked simple meals, sat by the fire, and watched the stars. I slept soundly, without the nightmares that had been plaguing me for weeks. I disconnected from the world and reconnected with myself. By the end of the week, I felt like a new person. I was refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to tackle I returned to the city feeling clear-headed and focused. The foundation still needed my attention, but I had a renewed sense of purpose and a clearer vision for the future. I decided to focus on youth mentorship programs, providing resources and support to underprivileged young women who wanted to pursue careers in technology. I knew that I couldn't change the world overnight, but I could make a difference in the lives of a few individuals. And that was enough. I called my team and shared my new plan. They were excited and supportive, eager to get started. We began developing the program, partnering with local schools and community organizations to identify potential mentees. We recruited experienced female professionals to serve as mentors, providing guidance, support, and encouragement. We created workshops, seminars, and networking events to help the mentees develop their skills, build their confidence, and connect with industry leaders. The program was a huge success. The mentees thrived, gaining valuable skills, building strong relationships, and pursuing their dreams with passion and determination. I watched them grow and succeed, and I felt a deep sense of pride and fulfillment. I realized that my purpose wasn't just to build a successful company, but to use my success to empower others, to create opportunities, and to make the world a better place. And that's what I plan to keep doing. It's my North Star now, guiding me forward. My grandmother always says to help when you can, and I can. So I will. It's funny, isn't it? How life throws you curveballs, how things never quite go according to plan. You think you have it all figured out, and then, bam! Something unexpected happens, and you're forced to reevaluate everything. That's what happened to me. Just when I thought I was... One of our mentees, a bright, talented young woman named Maria, came to me with a problem. She had been accepted into a prestigious coding boot camp, but she couldn't afford the tuition. The boot camp was her dream, her ticket to a better future, but the cost was prohibitive. She had applied for scholarships, but she hadn't received any yet. She was desperate, heartbroken, and on the verge of giving up. I listened to her story, my heart aching. I remembered my own struggles, my own financial hardships, my own near misses. I knew exactly how she felt. I told her that I would do everything I could to help. I reached out to my network, contacting potential donors, sponsors, and investors. I organized a fundraising event, showcasing Maria's skills and her potential. I even considered funding the tuition myself, but I knew that it wouldn't be a sustainable solution. I wanted to create a system, a fund, that could help other mentees in similar situations. I started researching alternative funding options, exploring microloans, crowdfunding platforms, and government grants. I discovered a surprising number of resources available to aspiring tech professionals, but many of them were difficult to navigate, overly bureaucratic, or simply unknown. That's when I had an idea. What if I created a platform, a one-stop shop that connected aspiring tech professionals with all the resources they needed to succeed? A platform that provided access to funding, mentorship, training, and job opportunities? A platform that leveled the playing field and empowered individuals from all backgrounds to pursue their dreams? I started brainstorming, outlining the features and functionality of the platform. I envisioned a user-friendly interface, a comprehensive database of resources, and a personalized recommendation engine. I imagined a vibrant community of mentors, mentees, and industry leaders, all working together to support and empower each other. The more I thought about it, the more excited I became. This wasn't just a solution to Maria's problem. It was a solution to a much larger problem, the lack of access and opportunity in the tech industry. I shared my idea with my team, and they were equally enthusiastic. We started developing the platform, working tirelessly to design, build, and test the various features. We faced numerous challenges along the way, technical hurdles, funding constraints, and logistical complexities. But we persevered, driven by our passion, our commitment, and our belief in our vision. After months of hard work, we called it Empower Tech. It was an instant success. Thousands of aspiring tech professionals flocked to the platform, creating profiles, searching for resources, and connecting with mentors. We received countless messages of gratitude and appreciation from individuals who had found funding, landed jobs, and launched their careers thanks to Empower Tech. Maria was one of the first to benefit from the platform. She received a microloan to cover her tuition, completed the coding boot camp, and landed a job at a leading tech company. She became a mentor on Empower Tech, sharing her experiences and inspiring other young women to pursue their dreams. Seeing Maria succeed, seeing the impact of Empower Tech, filled me with a sense of purpose and fulfillment that I had never experienced before. I realized that my journey, my struggles, my successes had all led me to this moment. I had found my calling, my mission, my reason for being. I am now a speaker at tech conferences and events. I have received all types of awards. I even wrote a book. But the best thing is knowing that I am having impact. And it all started because Liam deleted an email. I even laugh about it now. What do you laugh about now that you didn't laugh about then? I am a much different person now. The experiences have changed me. I've learned so much about myself, about the world, and about the power of perseverance. I've learned that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone to success. I've learned that the most important thing is to never give up on your dreams, no matter how difficult the road may seem. I've learned that true success is not measured by wealth or fame, but by the impact you have on the lives of others. And I've learned that the greatest joy comes from using your gifts and talents to make the world a better place. And I hope you can do the same. So seriously, I am really keen on the idea of getting more women in leadership positions. So many voices are not heard, and I want to change that. But first, I need to learn a lot more. I am not ready. I will read some books. I will connect with some leaders. I will learn the ropes. And then, who knows? Maybe I'll run for office. Or maybe I'll just continue to mentor young women and help them find their voices. Whatever I do, I know that I'll be guided by my passion, my purpose, and my commitment to making a difference. I also want to spend more time with my grandmother. She is getting older, and I want to make the most of the time we have left together. She has taught me so much, and I am so grateful for her love and support. I want to take her on a trip, somewhere she's always wanted to go. Maybe Italy. She loves pasta. I want to thank everyone who has helped me along the way. My parents, my friends, my mentors, my team. I am so lucky to have such amazing people in my life. I wouldn't be where I am today without them. I'm thinking about that trip to Italy with Grandma. It's more than just a vacation. It's a pilgrimage, a chance to connect with our roots, to create lasting memories, and to celebrate a life well lived. I can picture us now, strolling through the cobblestone streets of Rome, marveling at the ancient ruins, and indulging in endless bowls of pasta. We'll visit the Vatican, toss coins in the Trevi Fountain, and maybe even take a cooking class together. I want to capture every moment, every smile, every story. I'll take tons of photos, record videos, and write down all of her favorite memories. I want to create a scrapbook, a time capsule that I can cherish forever. I'm even thinking about learning Italian so I can surprise her with a few phrases. Buongiorno, nonna. Grazie mille. Ti voglio bene. It'll be a challenge, but I'm determined to do it. I want to make this trip the best experience of her life. I started researching flights, hotels, and activities. I compared prices, read reviews, and created a detailed itinerary. I booked everything in advance to ensure that we wouldn't have to worry about anything during our trip. I even purchased travel insurance just in case. I wanted to be prepared for anything. I surprised her with the news. She was overjoyed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Italy!" she exclaimed. "I've always wanted to go to Italy." She hugged me tight, her voice filled with emotion. "Thank you, sweetheart," she said. "This means the world to me." We spent weeks preparing for the trip, packing our bags, researching Italian culture, and learning a few basic phrases. We watched Italian movies, listened to Italian music, and even tried cooking some Italian dishes together. It was a lot of fun. We boarded our flight, feeling nervous and excited. The flight was long, but we kept ourselves entertained by reading books, watching movies, and chatting with each other. The air smelled like pizza and espresso. We took a taxi to our hotel, a charming boutique hotel located in the heart of the city. The hotel was beautiful, with a rooftop terrace overlooking the Colosseum. We checked into our room, unpacked our bags, and headed out to explore the city. Rome was even more beautiful than I had imagined. The ancient ruins were awe-inspiring, the churches were magnificent, and the streets were alive with energy. We visited the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, the Pantheon, and the Trevi Fountain. We wandered through the charming neighborhoods of Trastevere and Monte, admiring the colorful buildings and the vibrant street art. We ate delicious pizza, pasta, and gelato. We drank strong espresso and refreshing limoncello. We met friendly locals and made new friends. Grandma was in her element. She was fascinated by the history, the culture, and the people. She walked for miles, never complaining, always eager to see more. She laughed, she smiled, and she shared stories from her past. I watched her, feeling a deep sense of love and gratitude. I knew that this trip was special, that it was creating memories that we would cherish forever. What has been the most meaningful trip you have ever taken? I took a moment to pause and look at the Colosseum. I took a deep breath and considered just how much time had passed. History surrounded me, and the weight of time settled in my stomach. This trip wasn't just about pasta and seeing the sights. It was about remembering all the people who came before. My ancestors. They were all a part of this story. I told Grandma that I wanted to trace our family roots. I was eager to learn more about our family heritage. I could feel that the weight of history began to lift. Understanding the past can create a better future.